on the Spark Shad. Just slow rolling that belly weighted Spark Shad right in these shallow bays. Water's 62 degrees and warming up, and these fish are moving in and they're getting aggressive. Got that belly weighted hook so I can use it weedless up in the shallow water. And the cool thing with this bait is when you kill it, it wobbles like this to the bottom, and then you start reeling it again. It doesn't fall head first, it wallows back and forth, and it just makes these fish go nuts. Basically, I'm using this like I would a swim jig or a chatterbait. It's just a slower moving bait and a bigger profile that sometimes trigger those bigger bites. And I'm just picking this cover apart just like I would any other bait. Swimming this 5-inch Spark Shad next to the cattails, the points, pockets. There's a few pieces of wood laying on the bottom. Water's pretty clear. When those fish see this, you know, they don't have to be real close to it. And that big profile gets them excited. And they'll swim on over to it, follow it, and a lot of times they just engulf it and put slack in your line. Right there, I just fired it past that cattail point. And just slowly reeling it past there. That's a total ambush point for those fish to be hiding by, just waiting for something to come through there. So I focus on the points and then those cups between the points. And almost every time that's where those fish are set up. And then it never hurts to put a cast out in the middle of these bays and channels, because a lot of times the water is just a little bit deeper and the fish use that to get back and forth. If the wind gets you going a little too fast and you don't want to blow it out with the trolling motor, just hit those talons, anchor down, and then you can pick it apart a little bit. There. Got the talons going down so it keeps me from blowing into that spot. This 7'10" rod lets me launch these swim baits, which is key in this clear, shallow water. Because if you get too close to the fish, they are gonna spook and they don't want nothing to do with you. One thing that I have a little trouble with is if I'm going from braid to fluoro, getting used to that stretch, no stretch deal. Like these, with this straight fluorocarbon, when you feel that bite, I gotta train myself to just wind until it gets tight, then lay into the hook set. Because a lot of times if you feel it and lay into it, there's enough stretch that you don't catch up to the fish or get a good hook set on it. Oh, there. I think some of these fish are guarding bed, so they're not taking the bait all the way. They're kind of just nipping at it or grabbing to get it out of the way. There. That wind's coming right along that edge. Some of those are just choking that bait. There's a lot of different belly weighted hooks out there. The one I'm using here is a beast. It's got that big wide gap. I like that for big fish to make sure you get that hook in their mouth. It's nice because when you're going with the wind, you can use the talons to stop you. And then we just caught that fish going into the wind, and you just one quick push of the spot lock button, and then you're held the other way. When that wind blows into the cattail edge like that, it can be a really good side to fish. Because it's not only blowing the warm water to that side, but a lot of times it's blowing little minnows or bait or stuff to the side. So it gets the fish to use it. And if I'm not getting bit in this kind of stuff, I move fast, cover ground. These fish so far have been active. If you get close to them, they're gonna bite. So there's no sense in just trickling down the shoreline real slow, wasting an hour of your day when there's nothing around. Okay, now these ones up here are floaters. There's 2 to 3 feet of water underneath them. So when I cast it there, I'm not gonna start reeling right away. I'm gonna just let that spark shad on that belly weight just wallow to the bottom. That way if a fish is hiding up underneath there, it has plenty of time to come out and grab it. If I hit there and just start reeling, I'm already 3 to 4 feet away from that edge before the fish even has a chance to see it. There I was just killing it right on that edge. Oh, it's a nice one. Oh, there's another big one with it. Oh, look at that. Oh. So there's the other way how I work that. A little bit deeper water. Prime example, letting that bait wallow down, giving these nice fish a chance to come out and grab it. Okay, so we're gonna rig up a new one. I'm gonna go to a different color. I mean, we've been catching good fish on the other one. At the same time, I just want to try it and see. Yeah, another nice belly weight fish. You can see it right there. Oh. There. Oh, that's a good one there. Oh, yes. Oh, belly weighted spark shads. Shallow water. This lets you rig it weedless and cover so many different options when you're up there. Oh man, look at that. Oh, that's a nice one. That one came right up to the top and just hammered that spark shad. Oh, left a big boil. That was awesome. Oh, got that bait choked down in there. Next time you're up shallow and you're looking for big fish, I highly recommend rigging a 5-inch spark shad on a belly weighted hook and casting it around all types of cover. This thing catches big fish and it's so versatile. When you're reeling it in, if you stop, it wallows down to the bottom. It doesn't dive down like a jig head would. It's just a tantalizing, seductive wallow, and those fish hammer it when you do that. A lot of times though, just a slow, steady reel, keeping the bait right below the surface and above the bottom, especially up in these 2 to 5 foot bays, those fish won't come up behind it and they destroy it. I'm just using a center pin 7/0 beast hook. It's got the weight on the bottom, and at a lot of different speeds, this setup here stays true. There's no rolling when you're reeling. It looks real, and those fish like it. I have this rigged on 20-pound fluorocarbon, San Diego jam knot, a 7'10" extra heavy rod, medium fast action. It's got a lot of bend all the way through it. It lets you launch these baits a mile, but it's got enough backbone with the stretch in the fluoro that you can still set this big hook into the fish and fight them to the boat. I use a number of different colors. Anything that's natural looking will get bit by largemouth. It's that simple.